Welcome to another edition of the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. And right now, you are railing with the World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker. We have the honor and the privilege of having the greatest man alive join us here for yet another episode of Railing here on the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, aka The Whip Show. The greatest man alive, Corey RocBottom Davis of RocBottom Studios, is here for another discussion, but this time we're going to talk about the granddaddy of them all.
Oh, yes.
The big one. WrestleMania 39. Who wins the triple threat between Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus?
Of course Gunther's going to win this one. He's going to take it. Nobody else wants to see those other two. Nobody cares about either of them. Like, I mean, Drew had his day. Sheamus, his days, I think his best days are behind him. I think he just needs to look at retirement now, to be honest. I think he should go out in a blaze of glory and let this be his last match. It's at WrestleMania. Just go. I think he's seen his best days. I mean, he's got enough in the tank. He could still go. You can see that he can do that, but there's no momentum behind him.
I don't want to see him get hurt again.
Right.
I don't want to see Sheamus get hurt again. I really don't.
Right.
I feel like whenever he reaches that height, something happens. And I don't want to see that happen to him again.
Right. Exactly. And that's another really good, big reason for him to just go sit down and just,
He's a big guy. He got that hard-hitting style, the brawl, that part brawler, part strong style. I mean, how much more can his body take? Right.
I think he should just sit it out. He can let him manage the Brawling Brutes.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. What else does he have to prove?
Exactly.
Okay, you want to be a Grand Slam champion with the Intercontinental title. I mean, does he need it? No.
No. I don't see the WWE investing into putting the strap on someone who could easily get hurt again.
And like I said, he has nothing to prove. World titles, U.S. champion, Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble. He's done it all, man. Yeah.
Like he's a Grand Slam, to the degree. I guess that's the only belt he hadn't won.
Yeah,
I could have sworn he won that belt before.
And so what? He don't need it.
Right. It ain't necessary to, put his body on the line for it.
Do you think any less of John Cena for not being Intercontinental champion? No.
No, I don't think anybody does.
Do you think any less of Brock Lesnar for not being Intercontinental champion? No. No. Sheamus don't got nothing to prove, man.
Right. Just let it be what it is.
Yeah. What other matches are there? Oh, Finn Balor against Edge in Hell in a Cell.
This is another one of those why. I don't want to see Edge and Finn Balor fight again. But
he's going to come out as the Demon. So that makes it different?
Yeah, but he did that before.
I'm going to be honest with you about something. And as a long-time wrestling fan, as long as we've been watching wrestling, as long as we've had conversations about wrestling, numerous articles about professional wrestling, this is fan to fan. I don't think that Finn Balor in the WWE should have used the Demon gimmick again after he lost that cage match to Samoa Joe.
Right.
I think that should have been the end right there. I don't think he should have ever been the Demon again in WWE.
Yeah, he should have retired it. If not, then just use one or the other.
One or the other. If he was going to go back to New Japan or, something like that,
right?
Fine. even when he went back to NXT and became champion again, I mean, that would have been an opportunity for him to revive it if he was going to. And the fact that he didn't during that entire run, and how they used him as the demon on Raw and SmackDown,
Right.
I just don't. I don't like it, and I don't like him. You know how they built up to. I don't like it. I think after he lost that cage match to Samoa Joe, that should have been no more demon. That's it.
Yeah, and
just let him be Finn Balor. That's it.
I don't understand why he has to fight Edge.
Right.
There's got to be a why. The only other reason that this would be a thing at WrestleMania is because Edge wants to go to WrestleMania and fight somebody.
Yeah.
And they had to give him somebody to fight. Yeah. So why not have the most logical person is the guy who stole this faction.
Right.
And let's make that a thing.
Yep.
Because, I mean, you take that away, who else would Edge fight?
Listen. If they were hard pressed on having a Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania, which clearly they are, what I would have done, and like my idol Booker T, I try not to shouldn't book the show, but don't book the show. But I would have had Beth Phoenix be the one to beat Ronda Rousey.
Right.
And then have Beth and Rhea in Hell in a Cell.
That would have made more sense. Because, I mean...
You could have had the Judgment Day take out Edge and have Rhea be the one to stomp the final nail in them.
Right. And see, that's the thing. Like, I want to see Rhea win the championship from Charlotte. I mean, she's had it long enough.
Yep.
I mean, she's done it several times, and I want to see Rhea take it. But there's a part of me that feels like Rhea winning the Rumble was unnecessary.
No, she didn't need it.
She didn't need it. She'd already been the champion, number one. Build it up for SummerSlam.
Right.
At least she deserves another championship run.
Of course. She's a monster.
Build it up for SummerSlam because she's part of a faction now. It makes no sense to kind of tear her away from what they got going on with that faction, which is good. It's the Judgment Day is a pretty decent faction.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, I like the idea of those four together. But when you're taking one off to grab gold, I mean, I'm not understanding how that's going to go unless they're going to bust up the faction.
Right.
And I mean, they're already busting up one. Why bust up two? And I mean, I'm just, and that's why I'm just kind of like, yeah, as much as I want Rhea to win, I like the idea of her and Beth in a steel cage match a lot better.
Yep, me too.
And you know, yeah, just, I mean, that would also leave the question of who would Charlotte Flair face, but you know, there's still other options. Yep. You know, of people who she could.
They could have did Charlotte and Bianca.
Yeah.
Bianca said herself she wanted to beat all four of the horsewomen. There it is, right there.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, but right you know, they don't do anything fun, man.
It's right there. And again, that's a whole nother conversation because Bayley, what they're doing with Bayley, I don't like. That's a whole. I don't like that either. That's a whole nother thing. But sticking with Judgment Day, and I don't think we really need to discuss who's going to win what they're going to do with the women's tag match. I don't even know who their opponents are at this point. I'm like, what is going on? It just feels a bit messy.
I already know how that one's going to go. I think everybody knows how that one's going to go.
Please enlighten me. Who wins the women's tag match?
All right. So Trish Stratus and Lita and Becky Lynch are the tag team champion.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Trish Stratus is just coming with them as I guess Freebird rules.
Mm-mm.
So if they're using Freebird rules, then I guess she's a champion as well. So because they're putting the belts on the line against Damage Control.
Brother.
Yeah, so Damage Control is going to win. Damage Control is going to win the belts back.
And they never should have lost them.
Yeah, and this will be and this is legit Freebird rules, because technically, before, when Damage Control had the belts, it was just the other two and not Bayley.
Right.
She just came to the ring with him.
I mean, this whole thing is so silly. If they were gonna have Trish and Lita in the mix, why not just do Trish and Lita versus Damage Control at WrestleMania and not have all the other stuff going on? None of it. It's so messy. It's so messy.
It's extremely messy.
And Bayley. If you look at the ascension of all the other horsewomen, Bayley is still kind of gotten the short end of it.
Yeah.
Her run during the pandemic is iconic, but still not quite, what they've done for Sasha and Becky and Charlotte. It's just not. And I think Bayley has earned the position to be the one. Mm-hmm. She's entertaining. She's funny. She can be a pest and threatening. They could do a lot with Bayley as the top champion, and they just haven't done that yet. So going back to Judgment Day, the last match, assuming that we actually see it, I'm going to assume that we do, and that's Dominic against Rey, father versus son. That could have also been the Hell in a Cell match.
Yes. I would love to see that go down in a Hell in a Cell match. I would, and they're building it up to where Ray's not going to do it and all this shit, but he's going to cave. And he's, going to want to, take it to him, because Ray's a staple at WrestleMania. You want to see what superhero he's going to dress up as.
Yep.
And so they're going to have him. They're going to have him do something, and I think that might be his swan song. That would be the best thing to see, because I think that this is going to be Ray's last match, and to have it against his son would be poetic.
And he should give him the mask.
Yep.
And he should go from being Dominic Mysterio to just like their uncle. He should give him the mask, and he should be Rey Mysterio.
Yes. I can see that.
So when the mask got passed to Rey, he became Rey Mysterio Jr. But when he came to WWE, he's just Rey Mysterio.
Right.
So Dominic could be the new Rey Mysterio Jr.
That's a superhero origin right there.
Man, come on.
I'm telling you, man, especially if they are going to do something like bust up the Judgment Day,
Because it's definitely going to be segmented, because if Rhea wins the title, she's going to SmackDown.
Right.
Unless they're going to continue to blur the lines of the brand split, but again, that's another topic for another episode. One that we've discussed previously. If you look through the episodes, you'll see the episode about how to fix the brand split. I think it's a good listen. I think you'll all enjoy it. But they have. You said that's a superhero origin story, indeed. He was never Rey Mysterio Jr. in WWE. He could lose the match to his son, pass him the mask, and and Dominic becomes Rey Mysterio Jr., but an evil Rey Mysterio Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can have him, just run roughshod. The fans already hate him. Just have him run roughshod with the mask on. Oh man, come on, man. He would instantly be the heel in WWE. He would be so hated. He would be so hated.
Yes, and that's the thing, man. Like, if they are doing all this to bust up the Judgment Day, make it make sense. Like do it like this. If they're gonna do a Hell in the Cell with two people that have fought repeatedly over the course of the last couple of years, make the stipulation that if he beats them, the Judgment Day disbands. He started it. Edge did. He could end it.
Yep. I like that.
Even his promo this past week on Raw kind of reflected that. If you go back and listen to what he was saying. So yeah, like he started it and basically, Balor came in and took over and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just let him be the one to end it.
I like that. If Booker T was here, he'd say, "Shoot!" I like that idea. I really do.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, especially if they're doing it anyway. Yeah. I mean, the seeds have been laid for all of that to go down. Like, they're laying it out there for the Mysterios to fight. They got Finn and Edge in the Hell in the Cell. Rhea's going for the belt. Nobody even knows what is going on. You have to make it all make sense.
Yeah.
Because then you still have a Judgment Day member that has nothing going on.
Right. Damian Priest will probably win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. So that I almost forgot about the Battle Royal. So who wins the Battle Royal?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Damian Priest if he's in it. That would make sense. You could have the Judgment Day have a clean sweep at WrestleMania. But I like your idea better. Edge started it, he ends it. They have to disband. I think that's a really good idea. That's a good idea. It's not gonna happen. But it's not on the table, unfortunately. But it's a really good idea. That's a really good idea.
Because if they were gonna have them disband, that was gonna be that would have been the thing. Unless they do something like if Dominic loses or Dominic wins or whatever. Well, either way, if it comes down to Rey giving him the mask, and he does decide to take up the mantle, then that means that the Judgment Day will have to kick him out. And that'll be the end of that. But, you never know what's going on. I have no clue what's going to happen with the Judgment Day going forward.
Right.
Yeah, so it'll be one of those interesting things to watch.
Okay, greatest man alive. In closing, what is your greatest expectation from this WrestleMania?
My greatest expectation for WrestleMania would be them, the bloodline coming to an end. I think it's time. I'm just waiting to see how they end it. I just want to see how they close that chapter.
Thank you for listening to Railing with the World Heavyweight Champion, Mr. Joe Walker, on the Wrestling Heroes and Insiders podcast, a.k.a. The Whip Show. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and support the platform wherever you get your podcasts from. Follow The Whip Show podcast on all social media, and follow me on Twitter at Mr. Joe Walker. No excuses. Championships only. Be kind, be creative, win.